Great to have your company on the Daily Telegraph app and the dailytelegraph.com.au on this Friday morning. And the big news, of course, we have a new parliamentary leader of the Liberal Party. Angus Taylor elevated to that status after a spill 34-17 over the incumbent Sussan Ley. Many, including me, would think this is months after it should have happened. Sussan Ley, a decent, highly qualified individual, but no traction with the electorate. None whatsoever. To the extent that the poll showed recently the primary vote had sunk to the lowest in living memory. She had to go. It was just a matter of time. The problem I have with all of this, there are still 17 people in the Liberal Party who I can only describe as numbskulls. How do you support a person who has no traction with the electorate, who can't possibly win an election into the future? Anyway, it's been determined 34-17 overwhelmingly in favour of Angus Taylor. Cast your mind back a little while when Angus Taylor and Andrew Hastie had that meeting with their lieutenants in Melbourne, determining who would challenge Sussan Ley. They left the meeting and we were none the wiser. I suggested at the time maybe they had done a deal. Maybe they had determined it would be Taylor or Hastie challenging Sussan Ley. And then not that long ago we had Andrew Hastie, of course, say he would not contest the leadership because he didn't have the numbers. Then all of a sudden Angus Taylor comes forward. Maybe there was a deal done. And you can see by the support 34-17 that people in numbers within the Liberal Parliamentary Party have voted for Angus Taylor. I want to also go back about 10 years. I noticed this morning that Tony Abbott says this man, Angus Taylor, could be a future Prime Minister or will be a future Prime Minister. I didn't know Angus Taylor all that well. He came to Parliament in 2013 out of Goulburn, and I got a call in about 2016 from the former Prime Minister after, of course, he lost the Prime Ministership in 2015, Tony Abbott. He said, I'd like you to come to my place on the Northern Beaches and have a meal. And that had never happened before. I thought it was a bit unusual. I said, why? He said, because I want you to meet someone. I want you to meet someone who could be an important component of the Liberal Party into the future. So I went to Tony's place, had a lovely meal provided by his darling wife, Margie. And then, of course, I met Angus Taylor. He was the man that he'd brought to the dinner to meet me. And yes, I was impressed. He's a bloke like Tony Abbott with a Rhodes Scholarship beside his name. And he comes from rural parts of New South Wales down around Goulburn, highly educated, and a man that I thought maybe Tony Abbott's right. Maybe he could be a future Prime Minister, but that was 10 years ago. I've got to say, in the interim, I'm a little concerned. I would much prefer Andrew Hastie to be leading the Liberal Party than Angus Taylor. But, of course, we'll have to wait and see. I noticed yesterday that his lieutenants were saying, we don't expect the polls to turn around straight away. It'll take time for us to guide ourselves back to where we should be. But I just hope that Angus Taylor remembers his conservative upbringing, that he starts to bring to the table some views opposing that of Tony Abbott. I noticed this morning that James Morrow has written a column in the Daily Telegraph questioning Anthony Albanese's intelligence quotient and saying that he's a bit like the Roadrunner and, of course, Wile E. Coyote because he keeps having all the luck thanks to the Liberal Party. Well, of course, dynamite plays a role in that particular cartoon, Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner, aka, of course, the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. I've often said about Anthony Albanese, if brains were dynamite, he wouldn't blow his ears off. He's been a rank failure, but he hasn't been brought to task by the Liberal coalition. Hopefully, Angus Taylor will start to put questions to the Prime Minister about his performance. In the meantime, congratulations to him. We'll give him some clean air in the coming months to see if he can improve the fortunes of the Liberal Party. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you on Monday.